Okay, we have a little time here.
Thank you.
Well, let me show you something here.
So Marla, thank you.
Uh,
As we come back,
My last attempt to watch this was with Pootie, and I spent 45 minutes. Less than 10 of it was on the board. We ended up going off to all these other subjects. So today we're going to do it without Pootie, so maybe I'll be able to watch it. Anyway, I wanted to show you, me and Pootie had this whole big chat over here on the right. You see two chats. Carmen Rose, what year did TriMet started? And then Gabe Pearson answered him. 1969. Me and Pootie's chat is disappeared because they don't like people that don't agree with them. All right, back to this. Oh yeah, by the way, we had a little Ozzy Gonzalez on the Twitter today trying to convince me and others that the TriMet board is now diversified, and so everything is going to be okay, and it's going to be good. Everybody's going to be happy with the new TriMet because they have a new board. And then I said, yeah, you got a new management. But I do know the reality of these industrial complexes tells you something different. Like, no matter who you put in charge, nothing ever changes. Nothing substantial ever changes. These industrial complexes are chugging along, and there's no way to change them. Yes, the faces change, but the money always flows where it flows. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Director Wade, just want to let you know as well, we will be giving the board a full update in September on the Reimagine public safety. So we'll be coming in front of them.
Yeah, the Reimagine public safety. Yeah, that's I asked Pootie about it, and I think it's all marketing and public relations. There's going to be no change in public safety. As I said in a previous video, these board meetings are basically advertisements for TriMet. No negative viewpoints allowed. So they had this whole, we already heard this with Kelsey. Remember the Blue Ribbon Committee? I have a Blue Ribbon Committee, and nothing came out of that. Now, so they moved it from the Portland Police to the sheriff. Whoa! What a big change that was. It was a nothing change. So now the sheriff runs it instead of the Portland Police. Big deal.
The board and kind of putting everything on the table and laying everything out. So, Marla, just want to thank you for all the efforts that the division has done over the last 12 months. So really,
she's retired in September.
She's
going to take her nice fat pension and get out of there. All the top executives are taking their fat pensions and getting out because they're smart. Why work when you can, get $10,000 a month for doing nothing? Have you seen that Oregon PERS list? There's people making $1 million a year on a public pension. They're making $1 million a year public pension. Can you believe that? Well, you should, because it's true. Check the Oregonian PERS pension list.
Wanted to kind of transition over into the historic heat wave that we faced.
Okay, this is what I wanted to hear. The historic heat wave. Yeah, I wanted to hear how he was going to spin this one, because it was a historic failure of TriMet too.
Late last month, TriMet in the region experienced the highest temperatures ever recorded. This extreme heat pushed our system to the breaking point, and we had no choice but to temporarily suspend service for about...
Yeah, okay, he's right. It was not a matter of choice. And I'm going to say this again. You don't warn your public that this is a potential hazard of riding TriMet. I've had the same issue for well over a decade. They lead people to believe that ride transit, it'll be great. It'll be great. And then the transit breaks. And if you ride transit and transit breaks, and you can't ride transit back, what are you going to do? And you're stuck. I had it happen to me once. That's when I got a car and I never took transit again. And they don't warn people of this potential. And that's always been my big argument with these agencies. They don't tell you that there is the potential to be stranded if you take transit. And they get away with it. Nobody calls them on it, no media, nobody, just some little blogger who has no following. And nobody can hear me. Nobody pays attention to me. Nobody cares who I am. I'm a nobody.
2.5 days on the MAX system. We could not safely run trains with the unprecedented heat temperatures, which caused the overhead wires to sag down. It stressed our rail equipment and our trains, as well as our buses and the cooling systems at our facilities. As you know, it melted a power cable on the Portland streetcar system, forcing streetcar service to be disrupted as well. So systems here in...
Oh, by the way, today the MAX was disrupted because of a plastic bag in the cantonary. So I mean, the system is extremely fragile. It's light rail is light in every sense of the word. It's very, very prone to disruption. I mean, today a plastic bag shut everything down. So there you go.
In the Pacific Northwest, they are built to typical medium temperature ranges. And climate change has now exceeded those temperature ranges. So I want to let you know what we're doing. We are undertaking a study on what can be done to make our...
They've undertaken a study, folks. Here we go again. Why don't you get a blue ribbon committee, Sammy? Get a blue ribbon committee together. Hire some of your pals like Kelsey did. Stick them on there. Pay them for their time and come up with some bullshit. Another study. Here we go. Another study. It's too late, man. You've already built the system. You can't rebuild it.
System more climate resilient. And that will include really connecting with our partner transit agencies and other traditionally hotter climates, talking with them. Internally, I'm assembling a task force to work on this issue, to be able to identify our risks and vulnerabilities, both as an...
If you don't know your vulnerabilities by now, you haven't been doing your job.
Agency, and also as a community partner that's committed to equity. We will include members of our executive team, board, our staff, our engineering, and also our sustainability team, which is made up of passionate staff members from various divisions within TriMet. I'm also grateful I had a chance this week to talk to President Simmons. And
so that's it? That's your whole statement about it, huh? That's it. You had a major disruption in the middle of the summer, and that's it. You're going to have a study. Great. Lovely.
Vice President Bauman. And then I had a conversation with Director Gonzalez in Edwards. They've offered their expertise in this area as we plan to report back to the board with an action plan here in the latter fall to winter. We'll be updating you as we learn more. So more to follow there. Speaking of the heat wave, I do want to, in public, recognize and thank the many TriMet employees who went above and beyond during the heat wave event. So many went the extra mile to help keep our riders and our co-riders and our equipment safe. One of those employees is Assistant Supervisor Paul Morris,
here we go,
who works in our facilities division. I've asked Facilities Director Karen Powell to come in and share with you Paul's actions during this historic heat wave. Oh, Paul's here, and I'll turn it over to Karen. Karen?
Thank you very much, Mr. General Manager, Madam President, and members of our Board of Directors.
Who's this?
It is my great privilege and my pleasure to be here with you this morning to help you learn and
Hey, his mask is down!
get get to know Mr. Paul Morris and the many contributions that he makes every day at TriMet. I am sorry that you can't see the smile on my face through my mask, but I hope that you can hear it in my voice. Paul is here with me. Paul has been with us in his role as a maintenance mechanic for over 25 years. For almost the last 5 years, he has fulfilled the leadership role of assistant supervisor for Zone 5, which operates out of Ruby South, where we're speaking to you from now. And Paul has been exemplary in his leadership and consistent throughout his long tenure with TriMet. Paul's commitment to keeping our operations running is tremendous. When I first saw Paul after the Heat Dome event and was visiting with him and thanking him for his extraordinary efforts, he shared with me that not only was he up on a white reflective roof at the peak of the heat, clocked at 116, and if you can imagine how the heat bounces off of that white reflective roof, we figure it's at least 20 degrees hotter because of that than the ambient temperature. And Paul and members of his crew, Antonio Morales here at Ruby, Joe Robideau was over on the west side doing the same thing, up on the roof with hoses, trying to cool down our struggling equipment so that it would continue to particularly cool the servers that run our backup command center. One of the big concerns in the Heat Dome event was power outages. And if there were an outage at center, we would have to operate transportation here at Ruby. And our equipment is very aged, as much of our equipment is, and is not as reliable as we need it to be in this kind of an event. And if you can imagine our folks up in that heat on that roof, literally nursing it along to keep transportation going and to keep our occupants safe and comfortable, I know you will join me in commending Paul for his tremendous efforts. He shared with me that he had worked 13 of the last 14 days when I visited him after that event. I wish that were more unusual. I'm afraid that's quite common. We're short-staffed on our mechanics, and many, many times they give up their weekends and their days off and their time with their families and loved ones in order to be available to come back sometimes time and time again, night and day. I know that Paul came not just once a day over the Heat Dome weekend, he came many times a day and at night. So please join me in recognizing Paul and his leadership on behalf of all of our maintenance mechanics and assistant supervisors who show up for us and keep things going and keep folks safe every day.
Thank you.
Did you want Paul to say a few words, Sam?
Yeah, please. Absolutely. Let me just say here to Paul is that I like to personally thank you for your hard work as well, your attention to detail, and your commitment to safety, despite the challenging conditions that you face. So bravo to you, sir. Absolutely bravo. So would love for you to say a few words, and then I would love to turn it over to the board if they had comments as well.
Well, thank you very much, Sam. Like Karen says, I've been here for quite a long time now. I got hired as a maintenance electrician off the street as a journeyman. Never been through any other program. Facilities is all I've known, all I've ever done. Back in 1996, when I got hired, we had a very, very smaller TriMet. And we still had the same type of zone structure, except it was bus and rail. Well, then we merged together, and it brought us with 24 plant mechanics back in 1999, which in 1999 we didn't have the green line and the orange line and the downtown and all the different parking garages and all the different buildings and crew rooms. And today, at this time, we've only got 16 plant mechanics. So it makes it harder not only to try to keep the aging infrastructure running. Some of the chillers and the condensing units and the air handlers are even actually older than the time I've been here. So it makes it really hard, especially when these type of events. But, we do all we can. We do the best we can. Like Karen says, a lot of times we have to work. We don't have to, but we do because we know what it takes to keep our employees or our fellow workers comfortable in these situations. They rely on us. So it's really hard to do, and you know, I'd like to see some improvement in some of those areas as far as getting new equipment for some of this old stuff, and maybe getting a little more help to make our department able to handle all these inspections and things that aren't getting done due to lack of manpower.
What? I'm distracted.
Thank you. Board members, was anyone like to make a comment?
I missed that because I'm distracted, but let me just go back a little bit here. Sorry. But Rippy is now just talking to me. Okay.
Back in 1999, which in 1999 we didn't have the green line and the orange line and the.
Well, I beat you. I was there in 1996.
Downtown and all the different parking garages and all the different buildings and crew rooms. And today at this time, we've only got 16 plant mechanics. So it makes it harder not only to try to keep the aging infrastructure running. Some of the chillers and the condensing units and the air handlers are even actually older than the time I've been here. So it makes it really hard, especially when these type of events. But you know, we do all we can. We do the best we can. Like Karen says, a lot of times we have to work. We don't have to, but we do, because we know what it takes to keep our employees or our fellow workers comfortable in these situations. They rely on us. So it's really hard to do. And you know, I'd like to see some improvement in some of those areas as far as getting new equipment for some of this old stuff, and maybe getting a little more help to make our department able to handle all these inspections and things that aren't getting done due to lack of manpower.
Well, did you hear him? So I heard him say there's a lack of manpower. Did you hear that? I heard it. I heard that. Okay, you heard it, everybody. Frontline worker just told you there's not enough fucking people to do the fucking work. He's been there since 1999. You think he knows what he's talking about? I would say you have to know something if you've been there 20 years.
Thank you.
Okay, come on, Sam. What are you going to say about it?
Was anyone like to make a comment?
Did you hear him? Let's replay it. Okay, okay, wait.
Never been through any other program. Facilities is all I've known, all I've ever done. Back in 1996, when I got hired, we had a very, very smaller TriMet. And we still had the same type of zone structure, except it was bus and rail. Well, then we merged together, and it brought us with 24 plant mechanics back in 1999, which in 1999 we didn't have the green line and the orange line and the downtown and all the different parking garages and all the different buildings and crew rooms. And today at this time, we've only got 16 plant mechanics. So
whoa, whoa, holy shit!
It makes it harder not only to try to keep the aging infrastructure running. Some of the chillers and the condensing units and the air handlers are even actually older than the time I've been here. So it makes it really hard, especially when these type of events. But you know, we do all we can. We do the best we can. Like Karen says, a lot of times we have to work. We don't have to, but we do, because we know what it takes to keep our employees or our fellow workers comfortable.
Look, look at Sam. Sam's not really liking this.
Situations. They rely on us. So it's really hard to do. And you know, I'd like to see some improvement in some of those areas as far as getting new equipment for some of this old stuff, and maybe getting a little more help to make our department able to handle all these inspections and things that aren't getting done due to lack of manpower.
There you go. There you fucking go, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard it here. You heard it right here. This isn't me talking. That's a 20-year guy, more than 20 years, telling you there's not enough people at the agency to maintain the shit that's going on. I mean, I'm going to end it right here, but there you go. There you fucking go. It's not just facilities maintenance that doesn't have enough people. It's the fucking drivers, too. And that's the problem, and he just said it, and Sam doesn't like it, and I'm not going to listen to the questions right now because it's getting late here, but thank you. I forgot his name, but I'll figure it out after I turn this off.